Hi, I'm Beverly Graham. I'm the Technical Lead for Engagement within the HR and OD team. So we set this network up as an opportunity for people to share experiences and knowledge, so you can provide support to each other. It's also an opportunity for people to raise issues or concerns that they have in the workplace, and also to try and influence change and raise more awareness of what it means to be a carer. Well, I became the lead partly because it falls within my day job, but also I do have an elderly mother who is fiercely independent, but she also does have quite severe hearing and sight loss, which means that she relies on my sister and myself for quite a bit of support. Well, it's early days, but I think it's been an opportunity to make sure that staff who become members of the network are aware of what kind of support we can give them. So we can let them know about changes in legislation, we can let them know about other things in excess of the legislation that we've put in ourselves as Westmorland and Furness Council. For example, there were changes in legislation to unpaid time off for carers earlier this year, so we made sure staff were all aware of that. Staff can now apply for flexible working from day one of working. That was a new change. But on top of that, we have things like paid urgent domestic leave. So obviously, it's preferable to get paid time off rather than unpaid. We have a staff passport scheme, so you can sit down with your manager and go through, I'm a carer, this is how it affects me when I'm carrying out my day job, this is the kind of support I might need. But once you've done that, it's written down, there's a record of it. You don't have to go through it again whenever you need to take some time off, finish early. You don't have to keep going over that same conversation. And some of the staff that came along to meetings just weren't aware of these kind of things that were happening. And we've also been able to signpost to the different carers organisations. We've had the carers organisations to come in and talk to the group about what kind of support they can offer. So anybody can join the network. It might be somebody who's a carer themselves, or they may be supporting a colleague who's a carer, they may be a line manager of somebody who's a carer. So we want to make it as inclusive as possible, just to create more awareness of what it is to be a carer. So the more people that come along to the meetings, the better really. It's really important to give the definition of a carer. So Carers UK define a carer as a person of any age who provides unpaid care and support to a family member, friend or a neighbour who is disabled, has an illness or long-term condition, or who needs extra help as they grow older. And I think sometimes people start to take on the role of a carer without even realising it can creep up, so they don't necessarily think of themselves as a carer. But it can be really important to be properly identified as a carer. You can get registered with someone's GP to say that you are their unpaid carer, and that then gives you access to other things. For example, when the flu vaccinations come out, you can get early access to get a flu vaccination, obviously without paying for it, because you're a carer. If somebody wants to get involved in the Carers Network, they can email me directly, or we do have specific email addresses for the networks. I think they're going to be put up at the end of the video. You can expect to come along and chat to other people about what it's like to be a carer. And to reiterate, it's not just caring for elderly people, it can also be younger people. We have staff in the network who have children with disabilities, and they're also carers. We'll have regular meetings with the chairs of the different groups, where we can pick up areas which are common across all of the groups. We meet regularly with the Director of Enabler Services. He's very supportive, and he's been able to take away any particular concerns and come back with responses to the leads. There's collaboration with the Change Champions. So if there's anything that we're looking at as a group, we might then also send it to the Change Champions to get their view, and vice versa. It's rewarding being involved, because if you're able to give some information to somebody that they weren't aware of, something that actually helps them to balance their working life, their role as a carer, it's so good to be able to get that feedback from staff who are part of the network, because it means that if we're developing new policies, we've got real life experience that's coming into what we're developing and make it much more relevant for other staff, and just raise the profile of what it is to be a carer, because the more people understand, the more you can understand maybe some of the challenges that one of your colleagues is having. So I think that's really important. I'd like to continue to grow the network. We do know from a recent staff survey that nearly 30% of staff have said they identified as carers. I would imagine in reality it's probably a lot more than that. That's just who actually responded on the survey. So I think there's a lot that we can do to help support staff who are in that role. And the more people that we have come into the network, it sort of widens out that support and awareness. it's a really good opportunity, as I say, to share experiences, to meet other people who are in similar situations to yourself, and it's a great opportunity to have a voice in what we're doing as a council and what we're doing to support colleagues. There's a lot of information on the staff intranet about the different groups and the various chairs that you can get in touch with to find out more.